Sister wives Janelle Brown admits learning from her mistakes. Without a doubt, all of the Brown family has to look at their lives and try to puzzle out the reason for the unraveling of the plural family. But Sister Wives star Janelle Brown is showing over and over just how resilient she is. Recently, she admits how she is overcoming, learning, and moving on from her mistakes. Cristin and Janelle Brown make the rounds. Recently, Janelle Brown and Cristin Brown-Woolley took off to go on a media tour for Sister Wives. Together, they are taking the world by storm. Both Janelle and Cristin blasted Kody Brown during their Access Hollywood interview and added more details with a Q and A with E! News. Although they have been feisty and letting fans in on Season 19 secrets, they also show how close they are after parting ways with Kody Brown. But while they were out and about, they attended the Us Weekly's Reality Stars of the Year event in Los Angeles, Ca. However, during all the glittering spectacles, Janelle professes she made a mistake. Janelle Brown admits learning from her mistakes. On Instagram, Janelle Brown talks about a mistake she made and how she sorted things out. While it wasn't a huge mistake, she is showcasing her underlying resiliency to keep going even when life doesn't go as planned. While in Los Angeles, she wanted to sightsee. She attaches a photo of the city, but admits it didn't go as intended. She captions, "So, here's the thing. I booked a city tour. We had an open afternoon and evening, and it seemed like the perfect way to explore. I gathered my peeps, and off we went to meet the guide. We waited, looked around, and waited some more." She had a sinking feeling as she realized she had messed up. She adds, "Until it dawned on me. I'd booked the tour for the 10th, and it was the 9th. Oops." However, Janelle Brown decidedly knew she had choices. She could go through the cycle of beating herself up or feeling silly for making an error, but she didn't. She adds, "Instead of letting it ruin the day, we decided to take matters into our own hands. We were already on Hollywood Boulevard, so why not make our own adventure?" Undeniably, she learned she wants to double or triple check her dates. But in the meantime, she isn't letting it stand in her way from having a great time. Janelle Brown turns the mistake around by choosing her thoughts and actions. Janelle Brown turned the disappointing situation around. She says, "After looking at the stars on the sidewalk and movie star handprints, we wandered up to the entrance of Reunion Canyon. Hello, a Phil. A solid 20-minute climb that was a great way to shake off the travel fatigue. Likewise, their journey took them to new places. We didn't go all the way up to the Overlook. Instead, we made our way back down to the Ovation shopping area, caught a glimpse of the iconic Hollywood sign. We then decided to head over to a suggested local restaurant at Eat with Bakary and put ourselves on the walk-up list. Luckily, we got in. Had a delicious dinner. Went back to the hotel. I dropped exhausted into my bed. Making lemonade. Although it can be difficult to move when life isn't going as planned, Janelle Brown knows to just keep going. Undoubtedly, leaving the plural marriage has been challenging, but it is coming with big rewards. She feels more independent than ever. Furthermore, life has thrown her a huge curveball with Garrison Brown passing away. But she knows that whether it is a simple mistake, years in the making, or situations out of her control, she will find new ways. At the end of her post, she recognizes that sentiment, saying, "It wasn't the plan we'd expected, but it turned out even better. Sometimes it's really, really good to just roll with it." One fan recognizes her contagious attitude. "Your personality and mindset are infectious to us, Janelle. Glad to see you glowing and thriving." Another fan adds, "Making lemonade with lemons." To which Janelle Brown replies, "Exactly." Someone else says, "Unexpected fun, the best kind." Furthermore, a fan knows these opportunities can be amazing. Sometimes the best time are the unplanned ones. Janelle Brown sat in her cozy Utah living room, the glow of autumn sunlight filtering through the large windows. Outside, the golden leaves danced in the crisp air, a visual reminder of the changes in her own life. The hum of activity inside the house had quieted. For the first time in what felt like years, Janelle had time to breathe, reflect, and more importantly, to listen to her inner voice, something that had long been drowned out by the chaos of plural family life. Janelle, one of the stars of Sister Wives, had long played the role of the pragmatic wife, the steady force in a household swirling with emotions and personalities. Kody, her husband, and their unconventional family structure were once the cornerstone of her world. Together with her sister wives, she had navigated the complexities of polygamy with resilience, loyalty, and a kind of quiet patience that to outsiders seemed unwavering. But the truth, Janelle now realized was that she had been on autopilot for far too long. The Brown family's recent turmoil had been widely publicized, making headlines in tabloids and sparking debates among fans. Cody's relationships with his wives had grown strained, and the unity that once held them together seemed to be unraveling at the seams. Cristin's departure had sent shockwaves through their world, leaving Janelle to question her own path within the marriage. It had become clear that the fractures in their plural marriage were deeper than anyone wanted to admit. Sitting with a steaming cup of herbal tea in hand, Janelle let herself reflect on the past few years. The pandemic had changed everything. It forced her to slow down and confront the cracks in her relationship with Cody. They had always had a solid foundation of respect, but somewhere along the way, the connection had weakened. She had done what so many people do, tried to fix everything and everyone else, without looking inward to see what she truly needed. "I've made my share of mistakes," Janelle admitted to herself, her voice barely a whisper. It was a vulnerable truth she hadn't allowed herself to speak aloud until recently. She had always believed in the importance of the family, of sticking it out through thick and thin. But the price of that belief had been steep. There were moments she had lost herself in the process, sacrificing her own needs for the sake of peace, for the sake of keeping the family together. But now she was beginning to realize that some of those sacrifices weren't worth the cost. Learning from mistakes was part of life, Janelle told herself. What mattered was what you did once you recognized them. And for Janelle, that meant reassessing her relationship with Cody, her role in the family, and more importantly, her own sense of self-worth. She had always been independent, a hard worker with a strong sense of responsibility. She had built her own career, raised her children with love and dedication, and found satisfaction in many aspects of her life. But in her relationship with Cody, she had been slowly shrinking, making herself smaller to fit into the confines of a plural marriage that wasn't always fulfilling. One of the biggest lessons Janelle had learned was about boundaries. In the past, she had let Cody's desires and the family's needs dictate her choices. She had pushed her own needs to the back burner, believing that doing so was what a good wife, a good mother, should do. But now, as she approached a new chapter of her life, Janelle knew that setting boundaries was essential. It wasn't selfish, as she had once feared, it was necessary. "I've learned that it's okay to say no," Janelle confessed during a recent interview, her voice steady but thoughtful. "I used to think that in order to be a good wife, a good mom, I had to always put others first. But that's not true. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself too." Those words, simple as they were, represented a profound shift in Janelle's mindset. She had spent so many years nurturing her children, supporting Cody, and maintaining the delicate balance of plural family life. But now, she was learning that it was okay to nurture herself too. Self-care wasn't just about bubble baths or spa days, it was about honoring her own needs, even when it was uncomfortable or meant disappointing others. Of course, Janelle knew that learning from mistakes wasn't a one-time event. It was a continuous process, and she was still in the thick of it. There were days when doubt crept in, when she questioned whether she was making the right choices for herself and her family. But for the first time in a long time, she was allowing herself to trust her instincts. Her relationship with Cody had been one of the greatest challenges in this learning process. They were at a crossroads, and Janelle knew that the path forward wasn't clear-cut. She loved Cody.